Anthony Herwig here with a South Range softball player profile. We are joined by a senior and the lone senior on this varsity team, Gretchen Bartels. Gretchen, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
What's this journey been like for you to be a senior on a fairly young roster and to be leading this team and try to get them back to where they were last year?
It's definitely been really fun simply because my sister's on the team. So it's been really easy to connect with her and all of her friends. And we've been a pretty tight group this year, and it's made my senior year a lot of fun. And I'm hoping to continue our journey, hopefully back to where we were last year.
Now we're catching up with you towards the end of the season. You're in regionals right now. But if you reflect back on the beginning of the year, what were some goals or some things that you had in mind of things you wanted to accomplish this year personally?
Personally, I definitely I wanted to increase my batting average to potentially like the highest I've had in my past 4 years. Just because over the winter I was really working on my hitting. I went to my hitting instructor and I really wanted to have a big year for my hitting wise.
What about kind of leadership and knowing that you were going to be a senior this year and trying to be an emotional and an energetic leader of this team? What were some things that you wanted to do in that sense?
As a leader on a very young squad, I knew that they would have to learn a lot and kind of learn how our team works in a sense. I think the biggest thing was just to kind of be friendly towards everyone, and that way will become really close. And I don't know, they're a good group. They listen really well, and it wasn't a problem leading this team.
Now, it might be young in the sense of not a lot of senior leadership, but it is not young in the sense of experience. A lot of these players coming back from a full year last year, how much have you leaned on their experience to help you lead this team as well?
Oh, I've definitely leaned on a lot of the juniors, especially just because we are really close and they are kind of like my second hand man when it comes to making decisions for the team and stuff like that. So that's been really helpful having them with me too.
Raider fans will notice a little bit of a shuffle of the infield this year. You spent, the last couple of seasons locking down third base for this team, and now you go over to the other side of the diamond, and you're primarily the first baseman this year. What's that transition been like for you?
It's been pretty easy simply because I play first base for I used to play first base for my travel team. Um, But for sure, I think we just needed to fill some spots that were left open from our graduating class last year. And overall, it's been an easy transfer. It took a few getting used to everything, but it didn't take very long.
Do you miss third base at all? Do you miss being in the hot corner?
Sometimes I do. I think about it sometimes, and I do miss getting like all the action. And but I mean, first base, I like first base too. So.
Let's talk about the hitting. You talked about how one of your goals was raising your batting average. You spent a lot of the year in top one or two in the team when batting average comes to the discussion. What was working so well for you? What kind of things do you think went into your success this year at the plate?
I definitely think working the count for sure, seeing what the umpires are calling, high balls, low balls, like trying not to swing at the ones I don't want. And I also like taking first pitch strikes. I like to swing at them. And I think that's where I get most of my success just because I'm a very good first pitch hitter. So that was a big thing that I took in this season.
Every time we talk to Coach DeRose about you, he talks about the attitude you have and the positive energy you bring to the dugout. How do you keep yourself mentally up in a game of failure like softball is? You're going to strike out, you're going to have a hit not go your way. How do you always keep yourself in this positive energy type of mindset?
My mindset, especially recently, has been like it's just softball. It's a game. I'm supposed to have fun, and I think if I'm down on myself, I won't have any fun, and it's kind of pointless to play because I'm there to have fun. So that's a big thing that I take, and it's just softball. So.
Has that attitude kind of been really hard for you to navigate to yourself with, or have you always been a person that is easy to have that kind of mindset where you don't get too hard on yourself?
I think I've always had that mindset just because I've grown up like my dad, he's never been hard on me. He always tells me like it's just a game, like get the next one, whatever. He's a big part of my attitude, I think, but I've never really had I've never been down on myself, honestly.
You brought up Heidi, and you're being on the same team as your sister earlier in this interview. She's the catcher so far this year. What's this dynamic been like to be able to share this with her all year and to be able to see her step into a big role in this team as well?
It's for sure been really fun. We're super close. We hang out all the time. We share a room. So it's been a lot of fun. We played travel softball last year together, and that was a blast. I like being around her. A lot of people think we're very similar, and they mistake like me for her or her for me. So I think it's definitely been a lot of fun just seeing her step up and like be a varsity starter this year. And it's been exciting.
How many people ask you if you're twins? Like, be real. How many people think that like you two are closer in age than you are?
They don't necessarily ask if we're twins. They just like say, "Oh my gosh, you guys look like twins," or like it's constant.
When you think of being able to go back to regionals, you have not lost a district your whole high school career. What's that mean to you to be able to say you're one of the senior classes that has been able to get this program into regionals every year that they've been a student?
It's definitely crazy. I was thinking about it the other day how like I have four district medals and like like it's just not normal to have four district medals, but I have all four, so it's like so weird to me that it's not normal. But I definitely it's like very honoring to say that I've made it to regionals my past 4 years. Just because making it to regionals is huge.
You've had a big role in every district championship that the Raiders have won up to this year, and now Heidi gets the big role this year with the Grand Slam. You've had two home runs in a district championship. You've had a walk-off single, suicide squeeze in your first district championship. What's it like to have a story like that you can tell to generations that, hey, all 4 years, me or my sister came up with the biggest plays in this big game?
It was definitely exciting when it happened. I remember running out to the plate and she gave me like the biggest hug in like the little circle. But I think it's very cool to say that we both have had huge games in a huge game that it was. Um, but to say that she had a grand slam and I had two home runs, it's just kind of fun. It's kind of like deja vu almost, but like very kind of different in that kind of sense. So it's exciting.
When she went up to the plate with the bases loaded and you're only able to watch from the dugout at that point, I mean, what's going through your mind as a supporter and as a sister when you're watching her at bat?
It's definitely it's like more nerve-wracking for me than I think it is watching anybody else on the team. And I don't know why it's more nerve-wracking for me to watch her than me to go up to play like against like last year I did for districts for Poland. Like I could see her pacing back and forth in the dugout. That's how I was too the other day because I was just so like I wanted her to do so well. And she did. I mean, the second you saw the ball off the bat, hit off the bat, it was gone. And I was very excited.
So let's talk about your future. You're a senior, which means you're going to be obviously graduating from South Range. We hate to see you go, but it's reality of life. You have to go to the next chapter. What are some of the things that you're going to be doing after you graduate from South Range?
Well, I plan to get my pharmacy degree. I think I'm gonna go to YSU for my first 2 years, and then I'll for my undergraduate, my pre-pharmacy years, and then I'll go to Neomed in Rootstown for my to get my doctorate. So
When you think of pharmacy, what kind of things drove you to wanting to be in that career field and wanting to pursue that as a job?
well, it's kind of run down my whole family. So my dad owned a drugstore and he had a pharmacy, and that's where he met my mom. So they he hired her to be a pharmacist there. And then my aunt, my uncle are also pharmacists, and my cousin is actually going into pharmacy right now. So it's kind of been in my family, and I've known about it my whole life. So I've kind of always wanted to be a pharmacist. But I think like a big thing now as I'm getting older and thinking about what I want to do is I just want to kind of help people in a way, like help my community give back.
Keeping the family legacy secure in the pharmacy world. YSU is going to be somewhere really close to home. How important is that for you to be somewhere where you're still right with your sister? You can come watch her play when you need to. You can be right at home. How much was that a decision on deciding what college you want to go to?
It was definitely a big factor because I was thinking like 3 hours was as far as I was gonna go. Like there was like I was not going farther than 3 hours, but I think why she was just better for me because I would be able to watch Heidi play and finish her last two seasons, like through volleyball or softball. And that was a big factor when I was thinking about what college I wanted to go to.
What's it gonna be like for you when you're watching instead of playing, do you think? Do you have any idea what that's gonna be like when you're a spectator instead of a teammate?
Not really. I'm kind of excited to see like the difference. I don't know. I see my parents watching all the time and it's exciting to just be able to watch and see what happens, but I'm also definitely gonna miss it and miss playing with them.
You're a senior whose softball career will be over when the season is over because you're not pursuing a college softball, career. So how much are you trying to treasure these last couple games? I know it's a high pressure situation. It's tournament, it's win or go home. How much are you trying to take in everything and realizing that, every game that you play could literally be your last softball game that you play in your competitive career?
I'm definitely trying to take them in as much as possible. I'm trying to remember the special moments, have fun with my friends. After every game, we've been going out to eat. Some of us have been going out to eat, and it's just like a lot of fun. And I don't know. I'm just trying to treasure it as much as possible.
When it's over, and hopefully it's over in Akron with a big trophy. But
Yeah.
when it is over, what are going to be some of the things that you reflect on that you're proud that you were able to accomplish?
Um, I definitely think, well, for me personally, I think I hit very well this season, and my rotating positions, I think I took that very well. So I'll definitely be proud of that, and I'll just be proud of like the friendships I've made over this past just year. My past 4 years, I've had a lot of upperclassmen lean on and talk to, but like this year, I leaned on all my underclassmen. So I don't know. I'm very happy how the season turned out, and yeah.
All right, Teacher Appreciation Day was last week, so I want you to go through some teachers in the South Range school system that you're going to be very appreciative of and that you couldn't get through your high school career without.
Definitely my big one was Miss Pav. She was my pre-calc math teacher, and she's also a softball coach, so I leaned on her a lot. Mr. Landry, he's my French teacher. I really liked him. He just like made me laugh, made me smile. Like he just was always fun in that sense. Mr. Lindstrom, he was my history teacher. I hated history, but he was always making people laugh and he was just fun. I talked to him every day. And Mrs. Scott, she's my last one. I love Mrs. Scott so much. I just love to talk to her.
How much French do you know after years of French with Mr. Landry?
um, Only some because I'm not very good at talking about it. Like my accent is awful, but I can write it down on a piece of paper, but that's about it.
But like if you were dropped in Paris, let's say, like could you do like the routine stuff? Could you ask what you need to ask to survive, or do you think you'd be
Um,
completely lost?
no, I don't think so. I think I'd be pretty lost. I think I'd be able to like read off a menu, but that's about as far as it goes.
There are different languages given at South Range. What made you choose French?
Well, first my freshman year I took Spanish and I hated it. I thought it was like so difficult. So then I heard like all my friends saying, "Oh, like French is a lot easier." Like I don't know, I learned it a lot easier than Spanish, so I moved over to French and it was a lot of fun. I took it my sophomore year, so I had a lot of my juniors to take with. So those were a lot of my good friends and they helped. And it was just exciting.
What are some of the things that make you proud to be a Raider that you're going to be representing your school for a couple of more times, hopefully? What makes you proud to put on that jersey and say that you're representing South Range?
Overall, I just really like the South Range community. I feel like, especially my senior year, I've felt like very connected towards people. Like, my guidance counselor and my principal nominated me for the scholarship, and I felt very honored for that. It was just like the community overall. It just really, I enjoy it. I enjoy being in South Range.
All right, Gretchen, before we let you go, we do this with every player profile. We want to give you the time to take the spotlight off yourself for a second and shine on the people in your life, your support system, the people that have always been there for you. So I want to give you as much time as you want to send out your shout outs and your thanks.
For sure, I want to shout out my parents, of course, my dad and my mom. They do everything for me. I ask them to do something, they of course say yes. They've always been very supportive. And of course, my sister, I love her, and my brother, but my sister because we're really really close. And then I'm trying to think. I think those are the main ones I want to shout out.
All right, Gretchen, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and give us an insight into your senior year. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the way in the regionals. We hope this journey goes as far as it can. We hope that you end the year with a trophy, and we hope to see you again real soon.
Thank you so much.